Hi and welcome to Best in Tesla. We have just heard some more information about Tesla's next models, which Tesla apparently internally calls Model Q. I would love if we get to call this car the Tesla Q. But this could become a big hit in China and is supposed to be one of the cars that are going to help Tesla with their 20 to 30% growth next year. But also a longer Model Y is in the makings. And if you think this will hurt Tesla's profit, I think you forget just how good Tesla is as controlling their cost and how much they have cut their COGS, so cost of goods sold, through the last many years. Tesla is not just blindly cutting prices. Remember, no one else has the same kind of live data on their sales as Tesla does, as they go through the dealers. So Tesla can react on a daily basis to their sales if need be. But according to Deutsche Bank, we are getting very close to reveal of Tesla's upcoming 2 new models. So let's check out all we know and how this could be a big catalyst for Tesla's sales growth without sacrificing their profits. And let's dive right in. So Tesla's more affordable Model Q reportedly to launch under $30,000 in 2025 in the US and even much cheaper in China. So just to make sure everyone knows, nothing of this has been confirmed from Tesla. This is not Tesla making a product launch. This is just inside information from Deutsche Bank, but nothing is official or confirmed. But I truly do hope they will call it Model Q so we can all refer to it as the Tesla Q. That would be such a nice little test lab in the face of all the Tesla Qs. But according to the report shared during Deutsche Bank investor conference by Tesla investor relations head Travis Axelrod, the company plans to release this entry-level electric vehicle in the first half of 2025. After subsidies in North America, the Model Q is expected to cost less than $30,000, making it Tesla's most affordable model yet. Yes, this is of course no surprise, as Tesla has told us this many times during 2024 that they will launch 2 more affordable models in the first half of 2025. But nice to get some more confirmation and also some numbers for the cars as well. As they said, Model Q is designed with a compact build measuring approximately 3,988 centimeters in length, about 15% smaller than the Tesla Model 3. The Model 3 is about 4,720 centimeters long, so that would be over 70 centimeters shorter, so quite a bit shorter, and why a small hatchback is probably what we should expect. It should also weigh 30% less, which significantly enhance its efficiency. So that is quite a bit, if this is true. That should be more than 500 kilograms they are shaving off in weights compared to the Model 3. But with all the learnings they have done with the new production method, the much shorter and smaller car, and all the learning from the Cybercab as well, and the Cybertruck, I will not be surprised if this is true. As we know, the Cybercab will have about 50% fewer parts than the Tesla Model 3, and its body structure will feature 60% fewer components compared to the Model Y, as lead engineer Eric has explained. So I think, of course, the 2 new affordable models will be some sort of smaller, cheaper versions of the Model 3 and Y. Because if they can do what they did with the Model Y in the beginning, let it share about 75% of its part with the Tesla Model 3, so that the economy of scale becomes much greater, as Tesla could order even more of the same parts from their suppliers. So I think they will do the same thing with the newer models. It will be smaller and look different, just like the Model 3 to the Model Y looks different, but underneath they are very similar. So of course it will not be like the Cybercab that have 60% fewer body parts or 50% less parts, but maybe it will have something like 25% less parts and be 15% smaller, making a 30% lighter vehicle seems pretty reasonable. But as they said in the report, Tesla plans to offer two battery configurations, a 53 kWh and a 75 kWh lithium iron phosphate battery options, so the cheaper LFP batteries. This is actually also a thing that we are seeing that the European automakers have got completely wrong, as they were basically only betting on lithium ion batteries, as they gave the most miles, but they were also a bit more expensive. But the Chinese did bet on LFP batteries, and CATL and BYD has got the energy density up quite a bit over the last 5 years, and Tesla has also been using LFP batteries in their standard range vehicles. So over 50% of Tesla's batteries are also the much cheaper LFP batteries that most of the legacy automakers are not even really using yet. So they are kind of stuck with the more expensive battery, but because their EVs are not more efficient, they don't really get much more range out of these more energy dense batteries than Tesla does of the LFP batteries. Volkswagen has only just started putting LFP batteries in the ID.3, but only in China. But in Europe they still don't. So Tesla's standard range Model 3 with a small 57 kWh LFP battery get 513 km WLTP range, whereas the European ID.3 Pro S has got a lithium ion battery of 77 kWh and only get 550 kilometers of range. So a much bigger battery that is also a more energy dense battery type in a much smaller car only gets 37 kilometers more range, or about 23 miles. And the ID Pro S, embarrassingly, cost 20,000 Danish crowns more than the Tesla Model 3 standard range here in my country. That is about $3,000 for a very inferior product in basically every single way. But for that price, you can basically get the Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive and get over 700 kilometers of range. But anyway, a wrong bet on only one battery type from the legacy automakers have made them very late to the market with a cheaper battery inside them. But Tesla's two new models will of course be using LFP batteries, and maybe even like the Cybercab will be able to use any type of batteries, so they can be produced all over the world and using whatever battery type is available. And according to the report, the top tier model will boost a remarkable EPA range of up to 500 kilometers. Customers will have a choice of a single motor and dual motor setup for varying performance needs, but Tesla's ambitions does not stop at affordability. The company aims to expand its footprint in China with more versatile models, including a long wheelbase and 3-row Model Y. So that sounds very interesting, and I think that should be the two new models we are waiting for in 2025, so very exciting. And this strategy is part of Tesla's plan to achieve the 20 to 30% sales growth by 2025, because getting some more models into China will definitely help Tesla get more volume, as we can also look at this chart from Roland, where we can see where Tesla sales are the biggest. We can see the US and China, the two big pillars over here, making everything else look pretty irrelevant. And also showcase very nicely why it's kind of silly when people are getting so worked up about Tesla sales are down in Germany. So you mean this little bar there? Hardly relevant, especially because we know EVs in general is down in Germany because of the loss of the incentive last year, and that the German automakers are in trouble, so they are doing everything they can to push out as many cars as possible, also ICE cars, and especially to companies, as 60% of all cars sold in Germany are company cars, something Tesla hardly do. So everything is kind of working against Tesla in Germany in 2024, but that will turn around and they still have the best-selling EV model in the country. So Germany is kind of a special case, and we can still see how little and insignificant Germany is in Tesla's sales. And if we look to other big markets in Europe, the UK that you can see is actually a bigger market for Tesla right now at the moment. And the UK BEV market share has just come above 25%, and Tesla is still the best-selling EV brand and have the two best-selling models. So sure, Tesla is down in Germany, but there are reasons for that, and compared to something like China, it's not really a big market for Tesla just yet. And to get these two new models from Tesla to China is going to boost Tesla's sales in 2025 all on its own, in one of the biggest car market on the planet that is shifting the fastest to BEVs on a global scale. So with the Model Q, Tesla continues to push the boundaries of electric vehicles, accessibility and innovations, setting a new benchmark for value in the EV industry, and putting even more pressure on Volkswagen than they are already under, as Tesla will suddenly come out with something that is a direct competitor to the ID.3. But if we look at this chart, we can see that they expect the price to start about 140,000 RMBs in China. So that would be about 35 to 40% cheaper than the cheapest Tesla model in China right now. So if we look at this chart from ARK Invest about the addressable market share, well, Tesla should go from something like 15% of the addressable market in China to over 50% of the addressable market. That is a big difference, and Tesla will be doing this as China just continues to shift over to BEVs, making a bigger and bigger market for Tesla to enter, as they only sell BEVs. But as we can see here on Roland's chart, China's BEV market share is increasing month by month by month. And in November, China did hit 31% BEV market share, still on track to hit at least 80% in 2030 if this continues. But I actually personally think this will accelerate over the next 5 years, as hybrids will taper off, just as we have seen here in Scandinavia, and more BEVs will come to market. But no matter what, there is no stopping the BEV train in China, and Tesla is just about to enter with two new, more affordable models. And I know many think about how much lower can Tesla get the cost of building their cars right now. But I think we have to trust in Tesla that they know what they're doing. Because if we look at this chart, we can see that Tesla's COGS, the cost of goods sold, and Tesla's ASP, the average selling price, have been following each other like clockworks. Tesla didn't just lower the price through 2023 and 2024 just to push the other automakers. They did that as they could see their COGS continues to get lower and lower, and as Tesla has always said, they will push the cost savings to its customers. Yes, in 2021 and 2022 we can see that the average selling price went up even though COGS went down, but this was when Tesla had too much demand for their cars, as they were still ramping up from only 500,000 in production in 2020 to 1.3 million in 2022. So Tesla had to raise their prices so the wait time didn't get out of hand. And as Elon also said back at the time, Tesla's prices were embarrassingly high. And here we can see why he said that, because their profits per car sold was kind of getting out of control. But we can also see that the cost went up dramatically in the beginning of 2022 as the Texas factory was ramping up Model Y and the Berlin factory was ramping up the Model Y. So there the COGS did go up, but as the factory ramps up, the COGS went down again. And then Tesla continued to lower their prices as costs continued to fall. And of course, the interest rates also started to rise, so the cost of owning a car continued to rise as well, even though the sticker price might have gone down. So Tesla's addressable market has probably not changed much over the last couple of years, even though the prices have come down as the interest rates continue to go up. But as you can see, Tesla's average selling price has never been lower as it is today, and we can only see a very small increase in COGS during the ramp of the Cybertruck and the refreshed Model 3. So that has been a very nicely controlled production ramp. And I think we will see that again with the upcoming models, as they are using the existing production line with some modification that they have learned from the unboxed production method, and probably also the Cybertruck and Cybercab. So even though we might see some disappointment from many analysts when it comes out, because it will look too much like the Model 3 or whatever, I think the effect will be huge. Just like we saw with the Model Y, most people didn't think it would do much to Tesla sales, as it was too much like the Model 3. It would just eat into the Tesla Model 3 sales and wouldn't do much to Tesla sales growth. But boy, were those people wrong, as Tesla's Model 3 sales stayed at the same level, but the boring new Model Y became the best-selling car in the world. I think we will see the same kind of effect with the two new models, as they will probably not be very exciting cars like the Cybercab and Cybertruck, but they will open up a completely new addressable market that Tesla has never been able to get to. So I think they will surprise positively when they hit the streets, but could seem a little boring at first glance, just like the Model Y did. But it will probably be a very popular car with customers, as they will still get all the great software that Tesla offers, convenient and fast charging experience with the best navigation system in the industry, and so on. So it will not be a little crappy car, just a smaller, a little bit stripped down version of a Tesla, but still a Tesla. And that means you will be able to get full self-driving version 13 in this little cheap car. So either Tesla will have a lot of customers buying the full self-driving on top of their very affordable car, or they will just subscribe to Tesla's full self-driving, bringing in profits for Tesla every single month. But no matter what, this could make Tesla's little affordable car the one in the industry which generates the most profits compared to other small ICE cars, and make Tesla's cars much more appealing than Volkswagen's ID.3 or even BYD's Dolphin, as they can't and never will be able to drive themselves. But the little Tesla Q will, and will make it stand out from every other cheap, small, compact car on the market. So sure, the design might not be too exciting, we'll have to wait and see, but it will be something very special. But no matter what, it is still going to be very exciting to see what innovations Tesla has put into these new models, especially from the production standpoint. But I hope we will learn a lot more about these two new models sooner rather than later. And on top of this, we still have to remember the Model Y, the best-selling car in the world, will also come with a refreshed version of that as well. So I think we will have a very exciting first half of 2025 in front of us. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.